They've stolen my idea. I told you the BBC listened to me, and I knew it was a good idea. And now the BBC like it so much that they're doing it. Hi, it's me again. Now, I was lurking on one of my forums the other day that I use, TV Licence Resistance one. Link below. I'm not sponsored, I just quite like them. We get on all right now. Never used to. But they were sharing a news article on there about BBC subscriptions in America. I thought, that's interesting. Maybe we should talk about that on here. And I found a few bits, and it is interesting, and we definitely should talk about it. So this is on bbc.co.uk. BBC website in US launches paid subscription service. So they can do it then. They can do it, okay, because there's no licence fee in America. So how are they going to make money from that? The BBC News channel shows ads in America, but now you've got to pay. Look. The BBC has introduced a paywall for people looking at parts of its website from the United States. US-based visitors to bbc.com will now have to pay $50, 36 quid a year or that a month for access to most BBC news stories and features and to stream the BBC News channel. So from now on, no one in America is going to be accessing BBC News then, I would imagine. Or it's going to come down a lot, isn't it? Those who do not want to pay will still have ad-supported access to selected global breaking news stories, BBC Radio 4 and the World Service, as well as its language services and other newsletters and podcasts. Hang on a second. I can't be bothered to do it, but if I track back over my videos of the last couple of years, what I have said they should do about the licence fee is keep BBC One and the news channel, scrap all the other channels off, and put everything else behind a paywall using, say, BBC iPlayer. And if you want to watch tonight's EastEnders, you can do so, but you've got to pay iPlayer. If you don't, you can watch it on an omnibus or whatever over on BBC One, which still exists, but it'll be chock full of adverts. They've stolen my idea. I told you the BBC listened to me, and I knew it was a good idea. And now the BBC like it so much that they're doing it. So they've stolen my idea. You're welcome to the idea. You know, just bring it to the UK also. Why is it only happening in America? Rebecca Glashow, CEO of BBC Studios Global and Media Streaming, described the move as a major milestone that would unlock new opportunities for growth. So if it's a milestone and it unlocks new opportunities, do it. Roll it out to the UK then. It makes no sense. You're contradicting yourself now, darling. There will be no changes for BBC's UK audience or for those elsewhere around the world. The corporation hopes the offer will raise money to help fund the BBC services alongside revenue from the blah, 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 blah. Okay, the BBC is expected to have a £492 million budget deficit for its latest financial year. Now, which part of the BBC would that be then? bbc.co.uk. Because this BBC News is run by BBC Studios, who are a commercial company, and they make their money commercially by doing things like this, by showing adverts. Because BBC Studios owns all of UK TV, Gold Dave, all of that, and they show a lot of adverts in it. But the BBC that you pay your licence fee to relies on licence fee income. So which part of the BBC has the deficit of 400? I bet I can guess. It's between 5 and 7 billion quid a year that licence fee revenue generates for the BBC that you pay licence fee to at the moment. You're telling me that for the poor effort that you do with your channels and your radio and your website and your iPlayer, you cannot make that money last. That's more than the GDP of many countries who have to supply infrastructure, schools, roads, airports. But you can't run TV and radio channels on that and a website. No, you can, and they 100% can, because ITV managed to do it on the money they have. But if the BBC didn't run at a deficit every year, they wouldn't be able to ask for more money. Why the licence fee wouldn't need to go up. Let's say they carried the year with 200 million cash in the bank left over. How could they apply or tell us they need more money? Could they? It would go up. The licence fee would go down, and they can't have that. They can't have that. This is complete and utter bollocks, frankly. So I popped over anyway to BBC America because I have a VPN which allows me to pretend to be an American. And, I didn't watch anything. Because even if you watch broadcast TV from anywhere, even from outside the country without a television licence, you can't do that, which I think is nonsense. What business is it of theirs? I've talked about that before when I had a Spanish girlfriend, didn't I? Makes no sense to me. But anyway, I'm on BBC America now, and it's very similar to iPlayer. You have to sign in and things, right? So I went to the FAQ section, and it was interesting. It was interesting. So this is, how can I watch BBC America? BBC America is part of any standard cable and satellite package in the US. Cable and satellite, so not broadcast, cable and satellite, which means they make money from that. Fact. If your cable or satellite package includes BBC America, you can probably sign in with your provider information on bbcamerica.com or on our apps. Right. So this is what I don't understand, right? To go on to BBC America, you need to be a subscriber, and they check whether you're a subscriber to it. Like money has been paid by someone somewhere to give you access to BBC America. But I'm not going to do it, but I could, if I wanted to, go over to BBC iPlayer now, in the UK here, and I could register, and with any email address, even a made-up one, or tempemail.com, whatever, I could go into there and I could watch stuff with no checks. I think it pops up a thing, doesn't it, saying, do you have a television licence, yes or no? You click yes, you can watch. No further checks. Why don't they tie that login to your television licence? Are they missing a trick here? Why wouldn't they do that? Because if they do that, then that opens the door for people to say, well, now you can lock us out. You can start charging a subscription, can't you? And they can't do that because they want their licence fee money. Now, all signs are pointing to just start charging a not licence fee. Charge a subscription fee or show ads. I believe they have a streaming service in Poland, is it? BBC? I read about it a couple of years ago, that there was a streaming service in Eastern Europe that you could pay for. Can't find it now. Maybe they've stopped it. All I can find here is BBC Select. Or maybe I've just read something wrong somewhere along the line. But it does show that the BBC are more than capable of locking people out of a system unless they're paid up customers. It does show that the BBC is fully capable of showing advertisements to help pay for its service. And they stole my idea. Why can't they do that in the UK? Stand on their own 2 feet. All the people, all the households of Britain wouldn't have to pay the television licence fee. The BBC would be incentivised to make better stuff. That's the main point of it. Because ITV, yeah, I don't like a lot of the stuff they show, but I do get that a lot of the talked about shows lately either come from Netflix or from ITV. They do, don't they? Because Netflix and ITV are incentivised to make better stuff. Because if they're making shite, no one's going to watch it. And if no one watches it, they can't make any money, either through subscriptions or through advertising, plus a bit of subscriptions for ITV. The BBC has no incentive to do better. There's no incentive for them. It doesn't matter what they do. You only got to look at the schedules to see how many repeats there are. So the BBC just don't care. There's no incentive for them to do better. They're going to get their licence fee revenue either way. No incentive at all. If they have to start showing ads or charging subscriptions, they've got to do better. So we win by not having to pay the licence fee. We win again by getting better content from the BBC. And the BBC lose because if they fail to do their job well, they go bankrupt. I know, it means we win again. Let me know what you think about this down in the comments below. While you're down there leaving a comment, hit all the buttons, subscribe and all of that. And you have to say at the end of YouTube videos. But if you do all that, hopefully I'll get to see you in another video again soon, won't I? Ta-da.